right, here we are. All right, so this is the March 3rd meeting of the Finance Committee up in room 21 at Town Hall. So this is Chuck Colby covering tonight's meeting as Mike Warner is away on business, and we do have Kathleen on the phone, and we have Kevin Wolf, Ann Zuniga, Jason Hunter, and Al Cafferty here. And we have somebody in the public forum, but I'm not sure. But before we start, we will go public forum to see if there's anything that they wanted to speak on. But he's all right. They're good for now. All right. Yeah. So tonight, I know Mike had sent out an email on some of the things he wanted to do tonight, but I was talking to Kathleen, and we were thinking the best course of action, especially since we're very light on members, would be to try to knock off a bunch of all these meeting minutes that we have hanging over us. We really should get these in. And then we do have Rick Anderson here as well, prepared to give a final report on the DPW building project, which I know I'm anxious to hear.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then after that, we can, there's some old business. I'm discussing a little bit of the Article 2, and I had a little bit of some kind of communication I wanted to share with everybody afterwards. So, with that being said, to the committee members, has everybody got refreshed on? We're talking the meeting minutes for December 16th, January 6th, January 13th, January 20th, February 3rd, and February 10th. That's what I have.
I have January 27th.
You have January 27th. Oh, it's hiding. I got it there too. Thank you, Kathleen.
You're welcome.
All right. Does that sound about right for you guys?
Yeah.
Has everybody had any time to go through them?
There's one for February
Yes.
10th, too. You guys need that one.
I'm sorry, what was that?
February 10th, there should be one, too. No?
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
All right. Do the members have any preference on which order? Would we like to go the latest back to the most recent, or the ones that are fresh in the mind backwards?
I have no
I'd say
preference.
December.
Yeah, okay.
Just a minute, who wasn't here though?
All right. All right, so, yes, meetings for December 16th, 2025. This was when we had a discussion about a recent joint meeting with the Select Board. And we also had the facilities manager in, and we had the Council on Aging in to discuss their budgets. I had read them, and they looked good to me, as they usually do with a wonderful recording secretary. Anybody have any edits, suggestions, any alterations on that?
No.
No.
All right. No. All right. Seeing as such, I would be looking for a motion to accept the December 16th, 2025 meeting minutes as written.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. All those, we'll go roll call since we have someone on the phone here. Kathleen?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Ann?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Was I here that day? Absent.
You were. Jason was not, so you'll.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm staying.
Jason was?
Yes. I vote yes.
You were here, Elliot.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I said yes.
All right. Thank you. I voted yes as well. So that is
You abstain, right?
Yep.
So,
1, 2, 3, 4,
one abstain.
5, and 1 abstention.
Five abstain.
All right, that's December 16th. All right, next up, we have January 6th. The only absent we have there, I see, is Al Cafferty. And let's see, what was our new business there? Mike opened up outlining agenda for the night, Recreation Department, special town meeting warrant information. Looks like we did go over some of the articles for the special town meeting. And there was also some further discussion with Mary Beth about a lot of those articles and what they were going to be for. And for a presentation, we did have Kathleen Woodward in, the Recreation Director, who did present her budget that night. And looks like the interim principal assessor we had as well. Any alterations, suggestions, any edits on anybody's part?
Nope,
Motion approved.
How about you, Kathleen? Anything on you?
I'm good. Nope, I'm good.
Mike, Al made a motion to approve minutes as written,
Second.
and we have a second by Jason. All those in favor?
Yes.
Kathleen,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Ann,
Yes.
Yes.
Jason. Al wasn't here.
Abstain.
Al abstained, and I will say yes as well. So those are done. All right. Next up, January 13th, 2026. Absent was Al Cafferty, and Kathleen, you were absent as well.
Yes.
All right. So what did we have that day? We had Chief Hanlon in. So that must have been the police budget. There was a lot of discussion there on the chief. He explained what he was looking for and trying to get fully funded to fill as many shifts as he could. That took up a lot of the discussion. After the police, we did have the Board of Health in with Danielle and Dan Kelly. And I remember that as well. There was definitely something that stuck in my mind, that their budget cut from last year was very demoralizing and inhibiting them and continuing to do some of the good programs that they had been working towards, for the last few years. So I know we recognize the fact that that was tough for them.
Worth the recognition to note that. It's worth that recognition.
Yeah.
They're disappointed.
Yeah, they're very disappointed. The morale, I could tell the morale was, just very down on their end. And it wasn't nice to see. So those were the two departments. We did have some other business. Chair Warner, he gave an update on the reserve fund and explaining some of the requests from the last meeting, that it wasn't official until the select board provided us a signed form. So that's what took some of that reserve fund transfer some time. All right, so seeing as that is how it is, any edits, alterations, suggestions on anybody's part? No? All right, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
All right, thank you, Ann. Ann has motion to approve, and Jason has seconded. And let's see, we will do our roll call. Kathleen?
Abstain. I was absent.
Correct. Okay, and Kevin?
Proof.
Ann?
Yep.
Jason?
Yes.
Al?
Abstain.
And Chuck, yes, for me. So we have 2 abstentions there. All right, good, thank you, that's good. Carry on, here we go. Up to January 20th now. January 20th, 2026. Let's see. Kathleen, you were absent that day as well.
Yep.
So we had fire department in, and Chief Clancy came in at 6:30, and he gave his budget presentation. Obviously, there was some discussion on some contracts and a lot of the issues that they've been having over there. He gave a good presentation, especially for the new members. There was some talk on the ambulance billing and how much that generates. Obviously, there's capital requests on his part, long-standing ones. And then we had the library in at 7:05, and we had a new director who I met for the first time. And they also did let us know that the cuts in their department definitely had some impact on them. And the biggest one now is the library is only operating at 45 hours a week. which falls 5 hours short of that 50-hour minimum. So we're not getting the full state aid by not allowing the library to be funded to be open for the 50 hours. So that was definitely unfortunate to hear. Then we also had the zoning Board of Appeals in, John Goldrosen. Another good presentation on his part. It was great to have him come in the last few years. And then we also had Conservation Commission follow up at 7:45. And again, I did not see anything that stood out on my end. So with that said, anybody else? Any edits, suggestions, add-ons? Nope. Nope. All right. So with that said, I'll entertain a motion for January 20th minutes to be accepted.
Second.
I'll make a motion.
Oh, I'll
Okay.
second. Sorry, I'll
We
second.
have Jason.
I'll second.
And Al seconded.
All right, any motion?
All right. Roll call vote. Kathleen,
Abstain.
Kevin,
Yes.
Ann,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Al,
Yes.
and I am yes as well. All right. Next up, January 27th meeting. Josh McNeil, IT director, and he presented the IT department. Josh always does a wonderful job with that. A lot of supporting documents and knowledge and reasons why some of that's out of his hands with a lot of the increases from the vendors. I know they always do their best to keep that at a minimum. However, there is a lot of IT budget increases coming, and he had to explain why, and it was a good presentation. And that is all we had in that night. Let me double check.
No, we had the accountant.
We did have the accountant. Where are we?
It was very brief.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Very
I'm way down at the bottom there. Yes, 7:30. Town accountant presented theirs. That was just pretty much a level funded budget, and just a little bit more information on certification lines. And she did detail the challenges of working with the outdated soft-write systems, which has been a discussion that's been gaining steam over the last couple of years. I believe that was prohibiting us from keeping some people here because it just didn't work well for them. And I know we're talking about maybe switching over to I forget the name of that. Kathleen, do you remember that?
Munis.
Munis. Yeah, Munis is something that seems like would bring us maybe up to speed. With that, any edits, add-ons, alterations? No. Anybody? Kathleen, anything on your end?
No, this looks good.
Yep. All right, I'll entertain a motion for January 7th minutes to be
Make a
accepted.
motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. Kathleen,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Ann,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Al.
Yes.
Al, you were absent.
Abstain.
Oh, abstain. Abstain, sorry.
Sorry, and I will say yes as well. All right, only two more. We're into February. We're catching up.
It's exciting. That's
All right.
exciting.
Yeah. Okay, here we are, February 3rd. That night we had Town Administrator Mary Beth Carter in. I was actually absent that night. Actually, there was a few of us absent, so I'm just going off the draft here. But it looks like she proposed her budget, and obviously she gave a lot of information about the projected rises. Something that stood out to me, the vacation payouts increased substantially due to the retirement of a long-serving department head with more than 35 years of service. But And discussions on the Whitman Middle School project and the debt service. She had some revenue projections, it looked like. There was some discussion on IT infrastructure as a critical need area. And yes, this is where she just looks like she talked about the Munis software that we just spoke of. So it looked like it was a good one. Okay, with that said, anybody, any edits, add-ons, alterations?
Which date are we on?
Just to note, the town treasurer also presented her budget.
Thank you.
Did I miss that one too?
What was that?
Oh yeah, town treasurer. Yep. I'm sorry. Second page.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the missing the names. I'm not very unfamiliar names. All these new people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you. Yeah. The treasurer collector budget was presented, and let's see. She did. She must have had that debt service schedule that we typically get from the treasurer collector. And it looked like Plymouth County was that big number, the assessment of $3,831,461. That's something we're all familiar with. All right, so there was yes, so there was no edits or anything. All right, I'll understand a motion for minutes of February 3rd to be accepted as written.
I make a motion. Sorry. Go ahead.
We have
That's a second.
we have Jason and Ann making the motions.
Okay.
Roll call vote. Kathleen,
Yes.
Abstain.
Kevin abstains. Ann,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Al.
Yes.
Al, you were absent,
Top of the shore.
Yep.
For the record.
and I
We
will.
would like to amend the
I will abstain as well. All right. I can only go off the.
When was that?
That was February 3rd.
Okay.
All right.
Where were you, Al?
All right.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Last weekend.
All right. Last up, February 10th. I'll just mention here we have absent Mike Andrews and myself that day. So this was South Shore Votech, which unfortunately I missed because I know Tom does do a good job, but I did see his PowerPoint electronically, and as usual, I'm very familiar with it. As Tom does, it's always a pretty good presentation. It looks like he did make some notes, some accomplishments that the Votech won a gold medal in the Future Farmers America competition. That's good because I think their landscape program is fairly new,
Yeah.
the last couple of years. So that's a great field for a lot of the kids to get into these days. And let's see, looks like he was working on some CPA-funded conservation project. I know I was reading in here earlier he was definitely offering up to the towns to utilize some of their students where they could on certain projects in the town. They've done that before, and that's definitely helped the budget. Apparently, I wasn't totally aware, but it looks like Pembroke might be interested in joining.
Yep.
So now with the new school and more seats, looks like some other towns are maybe interested in joining. So that's good. And I think that was the only one that night. As I double check, yes, it looks like it was just South Shore Tech that night.
No, we had
Yeah, planning board came.
planning board.
Planning board? Okay.
Yeah,
It's in
some
the
of-
bottom paragraph of that first page. Before other business.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jeez. Another new name. Didn't catch it. Adam Somerville, yeah. Planning board, yes. So, so it looks like they were working on that, that economic Development Committee, exploring the opportunities to generate some revenue from new developments. So unfortunately, I missed that. With that said, any alterations, edits, add-ons?
No.
Motion?
All right, motion to accept February 10th as written.
Make a motion?
In a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Kathleen,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Ann,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Al,
Yes.
and I will abstain. Thank you very much. All right, so
Nice work.
that is the end of those minutes, and
Wow, huh?
sometimes you just need a night like this to catch up on them. So we can file them as done.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. All right,
Drum roll, please.
so moving on, we have we have a member of the DPW Building Committee, Frank Anderson, and he has been working along. He has been working on reports as the project went along, and he is here tonight to give a final report on that DPW project.
Okay, thank you,
So-
Mr. Chairman. So as a, just a brief introduction, Rick Anderson, I had the pleasure of working with a lot of the people here on this committee for 10 years. And prior to that, Capital Improvement Advisory Committee for probably 15. So I've done my share of municipal government. This is probably one of the last things I'll do as the, I appreciate too the board allowing me to be the liaison to the committee even after I left the finance committee. So just to bring you up to speed a little bit on the history of the project, I won't go into too much detail, but the architect, I mean, to me, I just want to say that the building is really a state-of-the-art facility, and if you had the chance to tour it, it's really worth the tour. It's something the town could be proud of, and it's going to be around for at least 50 years. It's really well built. So the architect, Helene Carl, the contractor was Page Building and Construction Company. Well, technically it still is. The project is still in the closeout stage. Our OPM was CMS, and the original contract sum for the project is $19,010,000. So one of the highlights to me, I think, is if you've ever been involved with a building of this nature, to keep change orders to a minimum is really a good success. And I can say for this project, we kept the net change orders by approved by the building committee to $178,755. So it's less than 1% of the total project cost, which is really good. So the project was scheduled for a 14-month construction. And just to go back a little bit, the project was delayed just because when the bids came in, we didn't think we had enough funding, and we didn't want to jeopardize not having a big enough contingency. So we had a special town meeting and approved another sum of money to supplement the original sum. The problem with it, there was a wording problem in the ballot question. And so there was some legislative procedure that needed to be done, which turned out to delay the project by quite a bit of time. The wording was wrong for the legislation that was filed. As it turned out, it should have gone directly to the governor. So it took quite a long time for us to get a green light letter, but it did finally go through about almost a year into the project. So again, the project was thoroughly monitored by the members of the DPW Building Committee and our OPM, CMS, the owner project manager. So we had a few unexpected costs associated with the project, and most of that was related to underground storage tanks that were discovered. One of them was discovered during the excavation of the main building, and it wasn't too bad of a situation. It was a fuel tank that was buried underground. It was mitigated, there was some cost incurred, but the bigger one was late in the project when the original building that was in the front of the site, we call it the green building, it's a CMU building, and it had been there for quite some time, and there was an underground oil tank that supplied oil for the heating system in the building, and nobody had remembered it was there. And it was discovered by the excavator. And it was kind of a big deal because when it was discovered, we were actually in a subcommittee meeting of the building committee, and the excavator grabbed a hold of the tank, pulled it out of the ground, and just oil went everywhere. It was quite a bad situation. To me, there should have been some responsibility from the general contractor and the excavating contractor for cleanup. So without getting into too much detail, the problem was that the LSP, which is the environmental firm that was hired by the town, determined that the tank had been leaking while it was in the ground over quite a period of time. So that person hired by the town really kind of lessened the burden on the general contractor and ultimately the excavating contractor. And so the subcommittee of the building committee did try to negotiate to get them to pay some part of the cleanup, but at the end of the day, it would have gone into a pretty protracted legal battle if we had pursued it. So the town ended up using $500,000 out of our contingency, which is quite a lot of money, to mitigate. So soils had to be shipped off site. Some could stay on site and be part of the unsuitable soils that now reside in the back of the property. But at the end of the day, we did kind of recognize the fact that the general contractor not taking responsibility for some of that cleanup cost them a little bit in the review that was conducted for the evaluation of the contractor at the end of the project. So the committee felt pretty strongly that they should have really taken a little bit more of an economical responsibility, especially the subcontractor. But again, so that ate into a large portion of our contingency. So we went on for a year and a half. And again, every change order, every requisition, the subcommittee, which was a part of the entire building committee, which met once a month, the subcommittee met every week online. And I, as a representative and the liaison for the finance committee, was on site almost every week to go over the requisitions and the change orders to make sure that we weren't being overcharged and that the building was built in accordance with the design. So there was a couple of questionable things that had to be addressed as a result of that constant monitoring. And again, our OPM did an amazing job too. And, we had our own town departments. We had Todd DeCudo, facilities manager, looking at some of the systems as they were installed as well to not only make sure that they were going to be compatible with the other systems that, and especially with respect to technology, that they would be compatible with other town buildings. Somewhat of a problem there was the technology. The technology department wasn't really part of the design, wasn't really involved with that. So that actually cost the town and the project probably the most out of any division of for technology, cost the town a little bit more by change orders that had to be made to make the security align with the other buildings in the town. So it's just kind of like a lessons learned there, I guess. I did pass out this copy of this conditions of accounts that was distributed at last night's final meeting for the building committee. So it shows here at the top the available funds that are left over prior to our meeting last night of $673,324.52. You see up there at the top right-hand corner. Of that, the committee made a motion last night to retain $50,000 of that, and voted unanimously to return the remaining $623,324.52 to the town. So at last night's meeting, there were several proposals that were submitted for consideration of the building committee. I have advocated for a while that the committee should wrap up and do a closeout and stop considering adding more scope to the project. But 3 things were presented last night. One was for some security upgrades, and we were presented with a packet of information, and basically without too much detail, because the committee did vote unanimously not to add this to the scope, but they were looking to add some motion sensors. And Josh McNeil, to his credit, is concerned with the security of all of our municipal buildings, and he felt that there were some things that could be improved. But at the end of the day, the committee recognizes the fact that this facility is completely fenced in, and there are cameras, and there are redundant, security features that would kind of make this request for additional funds that would have been deducted from that $673,000. So the committee voted unanimously not to consider that. The second thing that was presented were from Todd DeCudo, facilities manager, wanted to see a second boiler. He felt that a lot of our town departments and a lot of our municipal buildings have 2 boilers, so in case one goes down, you have a second as a backup. And again, there was a long discussion about the fact that this building was designed in accordance with the most recent construction methods and means, and it did not include having a second boiler. Some of the concern for me was that a second boiler is going to be just the same age as the first boiler. So when they go, there are going to be 2 that go at the same time. So for that, I used an analogy from 1994 when I was on the Capital Improvement Advisory Committee, and the DPW bought 7 brand new trucks all at the same time. And I think you guys remember this. They all kind of came out of service at the same time. So, it does create a little bit of a problem, economically for the town when you have things that meet their useful life ending at the same time. So for that reason, and also the fact that the cost, it was estimated it would have been $120,000 to put a second boiler in for this building. So again, we evaluate things as the finance committee does. It's difficult. I mean, you see needs and you see wants. And this, for me, fell into the want category. Yeah. And for that reason, the committee decided unanimously not to support that additional addition to the scope of the project. And then the final thing, there were 3 things that were presented. So it was technology, it was the second boiler, and what was the third thing? The boiler. Right now it escapes me. But it was related to technology, the boiler.
Security.
Yeah,
Cameras.
just give me 1 second. Let me see if I see some of the backup in here. Yeah, I apologize. Whatever it was,
it was security, right? I think.
Again,
It was more security. I think it was. Yep, it's all gated in. If you brought it at first,
okay.
it's gated. It's all gated in.
So at the end of the day, the committee decided that the project is complete as it was designed, and additional change orders or requests for additional scope, we felt, and I made it clear that this committee should be evaluating the additional, it was the fuel depot. I just remembered. So Josh McNeil also was concerned because during the blizzard, one of the fuel tanks for unleaded gas went down. And there was some concern that maybe a thorough investigation of the vitality of the fuel depot wasn't examined as part of this project. And for me, I kind of made it clear that the fuel depot isn't a DPW fuel depot. It's a municipal fuel depot, and it handles all town departments. So like the other two requests, I moved that it be referred to the capital committee for evaluation if there is something that needs to be upgraded for the fuel depot. Because it's not just the DPW fuel depot. So it kind of took exception to the fact that, there was some kind of an oversight. But we were in a blizzard when the problem occurred, and the remedy was that the town vehicles had to go to a gas station to get gas. It wasn't a catastrophic event because one of the fuel tanks wasn't available during the blizzard. So all three of those proposals were unanimously dismissed and referred to the capital committee for follow-up. So that does leave the committee, this committee, to evaluate with the Board of Selectmen on how best to reallocate the $627,000. I'm sure you're going to hear a proposal from Mary Beth regarding the recommendations of the selectmen, but I'm pretty adamant that the Finance Committee should also be involved in deciding how best to reallocate those capital funds. So on this spreadsheet too, I'm not really too familiar with the process, but there's an additional $7,445.60 that represents apparently interest from bonds that can't be applied to that sum of money. So that has to stay in this separate line, and that's on this page. Mary Beth could explain that if you want to get a little bit better of a understanding. So again, just to follow up, I think the building is definitely a state of the art, long overdue. I was on the original building committee when the first DPW project was proposed and thoroughly and resoundingly defeated at the override election back about 25 years ago. So it's been long overdue, and I'm happy to say that the building is definitely one that the town could be proud of.
Yes.
Nice job, Rick.
Thank you.
Thank
Really
you.
nice job for doing that.
Yeah, we will recognize Rick for all the time he put in. We invested interests.
He's welcome to come back, right, Kathleen?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll take it under advisement.
But for me, not that we have a lot of big projects going all the time, but we do have a lot of capital requests. A lot of them with the school too, but just something we've talked about is to hear in the end game. Did everything get done? Was it done properly? And this one happened to have some good news that there's some money left over, because a couple of years ago, or fairly recently, I think we had to go in to find out what was still encumbered for projects that had been finished.
Right.
So I just look at this. This is something on any big project. It would be great to get a follow up like this.
Yeah.
And a lot of the projects are with the district, but I think it's great. So.
Yeah, it's always good to get a follow up on capital projects too. You go through all the work of the funding and the project gets done, and you don't really hear about.
Yeah.
Did it go over budget? Was there money
Right.
left over? Because a lot of times we'll find out there's money left over from a capital project 10 years later when we find, well, how's this funded? Well, from the article from the 1962.
Well, something that comes to my mind is when they did some of the schools over the Duval, they did some work there, and actually they wound up having some more issues. I don't know, maybe didn't have the proper people watching it, but there was, and then we had set aside some money for the roof and to repair what they thought was leaks, and a couple of years later we were still taking money out from that because it was not done or not needed. We never got a full end game follow up to that. So I think that would be great to any project, any capital project over a certain amount that involves any kind of building, anything, just to make sure everything got done and what the net result was.
Well, we'll probably be building a fire station well within this committee's tenure. So
Yeah.
I might be on that building committee too. Who knows?
So all the punch list items, everything was complete, everything's signed off, and nobody's coming back to fix anything?
Yeah, oh yeah, no, we still have a couple ongoing issues. One is an electrical issue. There was a cable pull and they stretched the cables too much. So there actually is some ongoing work with that, but that falls into our warranty. We have a very good warranty, and all the documentation is very specific on how we, making sure that if something was built, it was built right. But things like pulling wires, and certainly not monitoring how that process goes.
Who discovered that, Rick?
Huh?
Who discovered that?
The OPM. Well, there was breakers that were tripping,
Correct.
and they couldn't figure it out, so they came back in and they did an evaluation of the connections, and it was determined that the wires were overstressed, and so there's a fix, and it's being done now. So.
Good.
Right. I know there were other issues with bay doors or something
Yeah,
back when we went, yeah.
right.
So.
But every time there was something that that it wasn't right, the committee made sure that it was fixed and
All right.
addressed.
And having the OPM is like having gold in your pocket.
Yeah, absolutely.
Being able to have somebody to go to manage it for you, as long as you
Right.
can bring it to them.
Yep. So we had a clerk of the works on site every day. We actually had two different clerk of the works. One started and another one finished the project. So I worked with the clerk quite closely to make sure that some of the things that, change orders that were, requested, the cost was in line with what it should cost. So, yeah, good questions.
Excellent. Very good.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's a nice building. I haven't got the full tour, but I'll probably get over there in the spring
Good.
for sure.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for having me in.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
All right. Thank you, Rick.
All right,
Thank you,
keep up
Rick.
the good work.
See you next Tuesday, Rick.
Dream on, buddy.
All right.
We'll see you
All right.
soon.
I'll get back to you later, Rick.
All righty.
All right. That was good.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, we were familiar with the beginning, and we knew about some of the delay and the legislative delay, which was really
That was
kind of,
awful.
mind numbing.
Yes.
So I didn't know, so you guys being a little bit new, at least you got a
was great.
Took
little
that
scope
long,
of it.
though, huh?
Rosemary
Yeah.
To the state house.
Yeah. Rosemary and
And Rick.
they went to the State House.
At our state
yeah,
center.
we were running out of time, and and obviously the contractor needed and wanted to get going, and
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
You
it was
can't
just-
hold out that long.
yeah, so. But luckily in the end it was good. All right, well, that was good.
Question following up that, and Rick mentioned that.
Yep.
Mary Beth and the selectmen will probably have thoughts on how this money should be allocated. But what are the rules around that? Right, where this was a special debt exclusion override that put this money into the town's pockets. What are the rules around how that gets spent?
Yeah, Kathleen, did you hear that question?
I did hear the question, and I honestly don't have the answer, Kevin, even though I was at the middle school building committee meeting this afternoon on the phone, and Mary Beth talked about the money that's coming back from the DPW project. So Mary Beth has the answer. I will ask her the question.
I'd go back to the pay of the principal now, wouldn't it?
But when you bond it, it has something to do with, we don't want to, because we were talking about bonding the middle school project, we don't want to bond more than we need.
Right.
So it was in line with that discussion, projecting how much do we need,
Right.
so that we don't have more money in the budget than we end up needing to do. Because there are restrictions on how to handle money left over from a bond issue, from a debt exclusion, but I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll have to find out from Mary Beth. That
Yeah.
is definitely a good question. Yeah, and hopefully, maybe over the next few meetings. Usually, this time of year, in the past, the town administrator was a frequent attendee to some of our meetings to help answer some of the questions. I'm not sure if she will be this year, but previous town administrators were typically out there quite a bit, and it's always very helpful. So maybe we could have Mike reach out to her and make sure she's in. We get some questions, jot them down, and try to get them answered. Anything else from you guys at the moment on that presentation?
Oh,
That was good.
You did a great job.
All right, yeah, that was good. I really liked it. All right, I guess a little bit of old business. We could discuss, how did everybody, Kathleen, what do you think about a little discussion and see what everybody's feelings were on our joint meeting with the selectmen and some of the stuff that was presented there since we didn't meet last week? That was a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Right. I think it's in order because there were, we did a lot of listening. We didn't do a lot of, we didn't do a lot of talking.
Yeah.
And I had some concerns about proposals that were made by the selectmen that we as a group have not had a chance to discuss.
Yeah.
I heard Sean Kane specifically and maybe other members of the select boards talk about having a contingency budget. Well, what does that mean? Are we going for an override? Are we going to have two budgets in the fiscal 27 warrant? So that needs to be clarified.
Can I
Yes.
ask a point of clarification from that conversation around the chair of the school committee talking about, well, the school committee is going to make the assessment, right?
Yeah.
My understanding, though, if I'm correct, is that the town still needs to approve that assessment, and if they don't, they go on a 112 budget. Is that correct?
Right.
That's the shorthand version of it. Yes.
Right. So while he is 100% accurate that
Yeah.
he can give the number, they give the number.
Right.
If the number doesn't get approved, everybody's in a worse situation.
Right. You
Yes.
can't really budget. We have to work our budget around them, really.
Right.
So if they don't have a figure, we can't really do
Right.
anything.
Right.
And we do it every year like that, right, Kathleen?
Yes. We can't tell them how much we'll approve. We'll just tell them, yes, we will approve your request, or no, we will not approve your request. But
Right.
I thought I did attend the budget presentation by Dr. Marcus, and my sense is that this is a very experienced person who understands the reality of the world, that neither Whitman nor Hanson has a bottomless pit of money. And he has a process to advocate for the students, for the education that's needed, but he's not being unreasonable with his requests. I think that this is going to be a productive year in terms of working relationship with the schools.
Good.
That's encouraging.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, how long is he staying on as superintendent? Just this
He
year?
may well stay on. They have this, temporary, then interim, then long term. I think he will be the interim, but they have a meeting tomorrow night. The school committee does, where I believe they will make the decision. I quickly checked their agenda, and it's definitely on the agenda to discuss interim appointment. So if he could stay through the fiscal 28. June 2027 school year, whatever that year is, get us through this mess now.
Yeah.
And they're already doing an amazing job of identifying, like hiring a new person. Matthew Wells is the new business manager, and they've already uncovered more information in the brief period of time that they've been in charge than I can't tell you how long it's been to try to get any information out of the schools. Where did the money go? Not where did the money go? What did you under budget?
Is that third party out of the equation now?
Pardon me?
Is the third party group out of the equation?
Yes, that third party group is gone. That was a disaster.
Yeah. And they should be coming up with their assessment soon, right?
I think they have to vote it on either by March 17th or 24th. I meant to text somebody else know the date. I know that it's in March.
I know it's in
It has to
March,
be-
yeah. I just
And we're in March, so in
Yeah,
a couple
so-
of weeks they'll have a committee meeting to vote the assessment.
yeah. Yeah, so yeah, and I don't know about that contingency budget either. That doesn't that didn't work well before with us.
Well, I want to know what it means.
Well, right. It's contingent on what?
Yeah.
Right.
Does that mean that they are looking for the override?
Well,
I got
that's
the
the
overall
question,
sense that nobody knew at the table.
I got the sense some of them do, and weren't telling.
Yeah.
One,
Well,
certain half wanted to present an override. Mr. Kane had said that he would rather put it to the people as opposed to just leaving it as this ambiguous thing, but it didn't seem to have a lot of support on the other side of the table. So that would be a major question for me. Do we need to plan for that?
Yeah.
And when you say contingency, to me it seems like
It's an override.
they're going to try to find more money through an override. If they don't get it, then there's this separate budget. If we do get it, then that's their budget. But I don't know. We never really got to
No.
that second step.
You knew that last year, the year
And-
before.
Was it just me, or I was very curious about the request from the public safety, all of a sudden looking for, more firefighters, and without it being talked about. I just found it very weird. I can't, and for them not to be there to show their support for it. I wasn't sure, what that meant. Was it trying to, put us in a different light of what we might need, and I didn't like the idea of, talking about if they're going to do an override, not a public safety or not a school, or not. It's got to be, a town-wide, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
these requests were not mentioned in either of the budget presentations by the fire chief or the police chief.
no, not at all. So I just thought it was very odd that it showed up last minute and nobody was there to discuss or support it. And it was all of a sudden just there.
It seemed like the select board wasn't really aware of it either. Which I expected them to be, or some of them to be aware of it. I was surprised how surprised they seemed by it as well.
Yeah, and especially the situation we're in, I don't know.
And I don't know how that one worked at just level service funding, like in perpetuity, that's effectively, there's just no dollar amount to it, so.
It just keeps going.
Like, how can you budget for that when there's no, how do you define level service funding? Who's defining that, and then how much is that going to cost? That was at least the one that defined the roles. That was at least a fixed amount that you could kind of, that would be the impact. But the one that didn't have any dollar amount attached to it. It was hard to kind of.
Yeah, so it would be good to find out if they're thinking override or not, because I would like to get to a point where we sit down here with the Article 2, and for you new members, we would do it just like they do a town meeting. Take a block of lines, and if you have a question or anything, we set it aside, and I really want the opportunity to kind of look at things a little closer. Some of these smaller departments that got cut, even though it's not a ton of money, but it has a big impact on their budgets. I'd like to take a little look at that and see if there's somehow we could move something around to maybe
you mentioned too the health department and the library.
Yeah.
Yes,
You're looking
absolutely.
at roughly $50,000 to make those two departments
Yeah.
whole.
Right.
And then you take into account you get 15-20% of that back from the state and aid.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
talking $35,000 total
Yeah. So.
to make two departments whole.
But I don't know if we'll be held back, by this whole override or no override. But that's something I really want to get back to, because we haven't been able to do that for a few years, and it's kind of just it bugs the crap out of me, because we don't really get to take a look at things. It's
I agree, Chuck. We spend virtually every Tuesday from November through March meeting, and then working very hard, and then don't have the time to do the final wrap up of what an exhaustive, or at least a line by line analysis and suggestion that this is what the finance committee recommendation is based on our analysis of all the information we've been given. So I'd like to spend time in the next couple of meetings doing exactly that.
right. Yeah, I really want to, and obviously we want to do it when everybody's in attendance, so
Right.
that they can look at if some of any lines or anything, and feel free to make some motions on some of their own thoughts and feelings. That's what it's about. All right.
Do we have a follow up to that, Chuck, Kathleen, on the with the select board? Is there a plan for another one upcoming?
I'm not sure if Mike Warner had scheduled another joint meeting of the select board and us.
I think he had said something, about
he wanted to.
Or the governor's budget came out.
Yeah, I was reading somewhere in some of the emails today. I saw something on Mike's part about late March, but we need to know. Yeah, override, no override, and if no override, okay, you get your local receipts. We're getting close to the end. Let's take a look at some hard numbers.
Right.
how long do they have to float around or not float around this override idea? Do we know?
It has to be. There's a time specific where the question, if there is a question, it has to be sent to the town clerk. It has to be posted in the warrant. But the timeline was very clearly defined for us last year when we were sort of in this similar situation.
Yeah. Now, Kathleen, there's obviously a shortfall, though, correct? Without the
What was that?
There's obviously a shortfall without the fire and police, and also without the school involved with it, correct?
Right now, my best guess is that we have a like $1 million shortfall,
Right.
but the numbers are changing. I spoke with Mary Beth during the day today, and then at tonight's building meeting. The numbers are shifting, and if Rick is reporting that they're turning back $600,000, the numbers aren't firm.
Right.
So
What I'm saying
I
is that without the police and fire, and then you don't have the school numbers either. So if it's $1 million in the hole, I wouldn't even consider this the money coming back from the building. I mean, that'll help, but it's not going to really. We may not count towards anything really.
yeah. Well, on the issue of the school budget, I don't have the line by line detail that I want. I don't know that it even exists yet, and I haven't been in a position to pursue it, but I will. I believe that Dr. Marcus is a realist, and his job is to advocate for the students, as I said at the select board meeting. Just as the fire chief and the police chief have their groups to advocate for, the school committee and the superintendent have their contingents, their I'm not going to come up with the word to advocate for. Sure. If nobody else if they don't advocate for education, no one will. So I'm fine with them asking for more than we think we can afford. But at the end of the day, we're all going to end up having to come to a meeting of the minds, and hopefully it comes amicably, or at least respectfully.
Speaking of the schools, did you all see that email from Dr. Marcus today, asking? Circling back on rescheduling.
He wants to reschedule with us.
Yeah. So
he just wanted to know when our upcoming meetings are.
Yes.
Kathleen, will you plan it, or do you want? I'm happy to.
I picked that up late. I did see the email, and I circling back on rescheduling the school committee coming to Whitman FinCom. Let me know when your meetings are, and we'll get on the calendar. So I think that's good. We have a meeting next week, and probably the following week.
yeah, I think Mike's posted. I think we're posted for that, and I saw him. When's the chair due back? Do we know?
Our chair,
Yeah.
I believe, for next week. He was out of town on business this week.
Okay.
But I didn't. Yeah.
All right.
I have this email open. Do you want me to just reply all to him right now?
What was that?
Do you want me to just reply all to John right now that we're meeting the next 2 weeks?
Okay.
In case he needs to.
Yeah.
Because I think
Yes.
he'll want to bring Ryan with him too.
Okay. I will reply all.
Perfect.
It's a good suggestion, Kevin.
Yeah. That way we can get him in here and try to see where they're
I
at.
think
Well,
Yeah.
Kathleen will take. That's
Catherine
perfect.
will-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll take care of that because I'm the liaison.
All right. Anything else for you guys?
No.
I'd just like to do a quick update on the Whitman Middle School since we met this afternoon.
Great.
Okay.
We have so much to thank Mary Beth Carter for keeping this project in terms of the funding running smoothly. She anticipated a glitch with the school department. That intermunicipal agreement allows the town, to do the borrowing, not the school, and it's going to save us a fortune because the bond rating is excellent. So she'll be acknowledged every time there's an opportunity. But the building is, I didn't go on the tour, obviously, but the building is gorgeous. It's coming in right now under budget and on time. And this time next year, the kids will be in the building.
This time next year.
Wow.
Yes.
They're going to move them mid-year.
In February vacation, they're going to move the kids who will be 7th and 8th graders into the new building.
Oh, so they'll
And-
keep the. Okay.
It's very exciting.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Time's flying.
Well,
So the bond. The last time we talked, I think the town didn't have its most recent bond rating, but it came back. Did it come back at A3 again?
I believe the answer is yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah, Mary Beth was happy.
Great.
Good. Before we go, I had something I wanted to share. And so what I got here is the town of Dunstable. They do a quarterly newsletter, the Dunstable Select Board. And it just kind of caught my eye because it's coming in, during, budget season. And, a lot of towns are in the same boat as us. And I thought it's got a little bit of useful information, but I had a couple of highlights here I just kind of wanted to share. I know we all work hard to figure things out. I didn't think it would hurt if there's something another town does differently. But so Dunstable's up on the New Hampshire border, smaller town. But here, just a couple of snippets from this operating FY27 operating budget update. A couple little highlights. Town identified projected budget deficit up there of $804,000. At the present time, town has made a deliberate decision not to rely on additional free cash to close the gap, which we know is not a good thing to do. Focusing instead on spending reductions and alternative revenue sources. So the town administrator was working with their departments to identify target spending reductions across the budget. 651,000 reductions were proposed across all budget categories, including general government, public safety, public works, education, human services, and insurance and assessments. So it was like they were trying to, peck away at some savings. But something else that kind of caught my eye here. So this is enterprise revolving and CPA funds. Mm-hmm. Okay, the town has also begun work on allocating appropriate direct and indirect costs to enterprise funds, revolving funds, and Community Preservation Act funds as allowed under Massachusetts law. This approach helps ensure that programs pay their fair share of municipal support costs, such as accounting, IT, and facility expenses, and reduces pressure on the general fund. Now, that to me is like when some of these programs, utilize other parts of the town government, it's kind of like them kicking in a little bit or charging them for the accounting services or IT that's how I'm interpreting that. Does that sound?
Yes.
Yeah. I know we've talked about it here and there, I think, in here, but it sounds like, this town here is definitely looking at it and they're actually doing it somehow. Outreach and policy development are underway. It's not finalized yet, but I think that's a good idea. Even the CPA, the CPA money, but in the end, when some of that work gets done, if there's a cost to the town, hours or, IT or, anything like that, we all know every little bit helps. So that caught my eye. But in the back of it, too, there's an article here. Now, Dunstable is a regional district, too. It's Groton Dunstable. And I thought this was great from a standpoint of this. Obviously, this little newsletter goes out to everybody's house. If they read it, they read it, but they don't have to go to the website to find it. It comes to them. So here is this is titled "A Message from Groton Dunstable Regional School District." With the governor's budget now in the hands of the legislature, our community has a meaningful opportunity to advocate directly to the lawmakers. We invite families, staff, and community members to consider taking a few moments to submit a letter or provide testimony urging lawmakers to recognize the critical need for increased state funding. Your voice can help ensure that Groton Dunstable, and there's no reason why I couldn't say Whitman Hanson, receives the support our students and schools deserve. To make participation as easy as possible and to ensure a consistent message to lawmakers, the school committee has drafted 2 template letters, one intended for parents, students, and staff, and another for community members who may not have a direct connection to the schools, but have been impacted by rising taxes and or municipal budget cuts made to support rising school costs. Both letters are available for anyone to access and use. Additionally, if you prefer to write your own letter, we also have a blank template that just includes the specific requests that we are making. Throughout March, the Joint Committee on Ways and Means will hold a series of legislative hearings on the state budget. Once dates and locations are finalized, we share that information along with any opportunities to submit virtual testimony. In the meantime, sending letters referenced above prior to the hearings will be an important way to help underscore the need for increased funding. I know I've in the past, I've been quick to say, hey, well, where's us? State reps, advocating for, increase the dollar amount per student, and that usually happens. But I thought this was a way for anybody and everybody to maybe, get that into their reps. So I don't know if anything like that has ever been done here, but I think it's a good idea for people that want to try to get a little bit more money out of the budget.
It's a great idea. The state's broke. I mean, there's no money in the state.
Well, there is in the MBTA.
Well, I know there is, yeah.
And there is the millionaire's tax. It's supposed to go to school funding and the MBTA.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
so I thought this was a good little thing. I'm going to leave it here on the table. And, it's got some other stuff. But, yeah, I just thought had a little bit of information. Maybe it was something a little different that we didn't, take into account before. But I just wanted to share that.
Good one, Chuck.
All right. That's it on my end.
Nice job tonight, Chuck. Yeah. Intern chair.
Yeah.
Did a great job.
Vice Chair. Yeah, I know you
Thank
want,
Runner up.
but I want to hear everybody else's feedback on what you were just talking about with the revolving funds. Because you think that it should be under the oversight of the town. Yes?
Say that again.
So what is your take on the,
The revolving funds.
yes,
Um,
for like the recreation department?
I think it's
feel
okay
like
to
the
be-
recreation department does an awful lot of good, probably.
yeah.
So I have an opposite view, but that's why I kind of want to see what the rest of the table feels like on that.
Like,
I think
aspect.
Chuck was speaking not necessarily to revolving funds, but more to the fact of if the police department is using IT services, that they help cover some of IT's budget under their budget
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
the revolving funds.
And that
Am
I
I
agree
correct?
with.
And maybe to the fact that, let's say, in a situation like,
But you were talking like CPA, like that.
yeah, CPA, which I wasn't,
Community
that's fairly new. Now, CPA, there are projects, that get done, but if those projects utilize other town services, should the CPA funds, pay for the, pay for like, whether it's IT or accounting, or if they need police detail to get work done. I wasn't advocating. I'm just this is what another town.
That's your thought process, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, that's-
right? That's your
yeah.
thought process.
And that takes off the general fund. Yeah.
Good point.
Anybody else?
I mean,
Any
I
thoughts
see
on
it
that?
both ways, but
Yeah,
it is a way to maybe ease some of the burden.
yeah,
But you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, I guess, either way, really. Unfortunately. But
yeah, yeah.
in times like this, you try to think outside of the box. Might not work.
I just like that with like the recreation committee, the conservation and the community preservation and the historical committee. Like you ask them where their funds are being spent, where they're coming in and where they're being spent, and they always have an answer. Always. They don't have to get back to you. They don't have to say, it's just pretty straightforward. This is what we've got. This is what we've got left. This is what we plan on doing with it. I've only been here a few years, but I've never heard any
Yeah.
of them say that they're going to consider something, or they're waiting for something, or they'll get back to us, or they'll look into it. That's
Yeah.
never been.
Yeah, and mine, I wasn't portraying that. Mine was like robbing Peter to pay Paul, basically charging them for town services.
She's not getting paid.
Basically charging them for town services that get utilized to help them do whatever they're doing. Yeah, not questioning where their money goes. No, that wasn't. I don't think that was the.
Intention.
I don't think that was what that intended to either in there.
You brought up a good point though, because some of those departments you exactly know, like they bring in funds and it goes back to them, and you know exactly where it's being spent. But there are other departments where we don't know, and it goes into like a black hole.
Or departments
So
that don't
wait-
get, like even the
Yeah,
the
some
Board of Health.
departments don't get. Yeah, some
They don't see
departments
that
have to
revenue.
put it to the general fund, right?
Yeah.
And then some departments keep it, but you don't know where it goes.
It gets buried.
So, and I think that's a gap.
Yeah.
And it
And-
would be nice to see it. Like
and-
the revenue, you guys have been asking for that for a
Yeah,
very
we've been
long
talking
time.
about that
To
since
see the
last time.
revenue.
I think, but like we did talk about the health department. Now they're struggling, and yet they bring in a lot of fees for inspections, and they raise the fee. So that's where they
And
should
they're
be
not
able to get.
use it.
They're not able to use it. Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
So that's I know it was mentioned before, so that should be something to
Not on the
discuss.
committee, so I can say it. It's asinine. It's part of the public spoken.
That's right. So that would be a policy thing by the Board of Selectmen. Would that be right, Kathleen?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, they'd have to do that. So I think it's going to be suggested.
And honestly, great idea. Read what other towns are doing because you see it on Justin has his
Yes.
Kathleen
South
introduced
Shore
me
News.
to those that come out,
Yeah.
and you can see every single town town is struggling.
Fiscal
this year.
crisis. Fiscal
Yeah.
Yeah,
crisis.
yeah,
fiscal-
everywhere.
It's been his last
What are we gonna
five
do?
articles.
Yeah.
Oh,
And the thing that bugs me is the state's not really doing much to help, in my opinion.
I agree.
A lot of, but anyways,
We'll have a letter writing.
Yeah, it can't be.
all right. If there's nothing else, I'm sure we would make accept a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, roll call. Kathleen,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Ann,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Al,
Yes.
and yes, myself. So we will adjourn. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Good night.
Check out.
Good night.
Thank you.
In Ireland this time.